Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for two more episodes of Mushi-Shi Episodes 20 and 21. Getting to the pointy end of Season 1 now and very excited to be diving back in. Solitary YouTube comment up there ready to go from Jav Gamer. YouTube's being weird about surfacing this stuff sometimes too, so maybe I've got to check a little bit more to just see if there's comments there. It's a bit of a minefield if I'm honest, so anyway. Comment. Episode 18 is one of their personal favorites. I commented last week that the fact that it didn't have all that much to do with Mushishi as a show as kind of criticism. But again, I don't think I would even go that far in retrospect. It's interesting more than anything, right? It's that, hey, yeah, this is kind of a universal story we're telling almost. Felt like somebody talked about this somewhere else as well, maybe a previous video's YouTube comment, but I probably should be looking at this stuff more through the lens of a disease more often than I do. The Mushi can be seen as very similar to illnesses and that kind of thing in real life, right? I feel like the specific comment was that Ginkgo is often somebody that goes around and diagnoses and explains that, hey, I can't fix this. And that's, again, a doctor would have to do that quite often, right? Like, hey, here's the facts of what's going on. We can try our best to alleviate stuff and you're going to live with this thing, but we can't just take it away. And much like illness and disease and sickness and stuff in real life, nobody does anything wrong to get, really sick, to be diseased. It's just something that happens and you kind of got to just live with it, Again, in the episode last week, I did argue that him being too engrossed in his career and artistry and the rest of that and not focusing on the small things and where he's come from was his folly, but it isn't a major folly. I think we're all guilty of that sometimes, not calling home enough, not focusing on origins, not, I guess, like checking in with people as often as we should. And yeah, it was really inspiring to see him turn that around and go back and see the niece and fix things up. It also tied into the themes around the land and the local area and the people supporting him too. It was a really good episode in that regard. Again, mostly my stuff last week was structural. I just feel like it was a weird episode to watch. But again, like, I don't know. If that's its worst crime, that it's doing okay. And Ginkgo is a bit of a rascal, and I do like it when he when he does pop his head in and show that side of his personality, because it is welcome. Mushishi as a show can get a little bit, not dry is the wrong word. I would like a little bit more comedy broadly overall. Just a little bit more character and touches here and there. I'm watching, again, City and Baccano on the channel at the moment, and they're just kind of running rings around it. Again, they're kind of playing a different sport, though, there as well. Either way, we'll leave that there for today's YouTube comments. We'll jump over to the Patreon and give them a shout out. We love the Patreon, of course, folks. $6 a month gets you videos 1 week early. It's linked in the description below. If you're really enjoying Mushishi at the moment, potentially give it just 2 seconds of your time to have a look. I would appreciate that. I appreciate many people, such as AJ, Akomancer, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bisa, Capella, Chobaribi, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Hans Peter, Ika, Yako Yavnen, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Mickey Babbers, Miru, Mistake El Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nailu, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Pointed Snowdrop, Runled B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Kelvin, Binshi, Gus N, Nosta, Voodoo Chili, and Aussie. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. Mushishi is an episodic show that I do not need to set up in the same way that I set up most other things. My head is saying something about writings is upcoming. I believe that was one of the last words that I read last week, so look forward to that, I guess. And yeah, with that all said, let's dive into episode 20 of the show. Let's go. Radio, I have episode 20 up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 39 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the psych version, so get that version if you'd like the same version as my version. In any case, there is a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Yes, of course. I shan't forget. There we go. That's better. Every time. I'm pretty good about remembering now, though. That was, I changed it from English to Japanese. Because I'm watching in Japanese. I kind of need to do that if I want the thing to happen. Fingers crossed we can keep the energy levels high here. I was not well overnight. I had a terrible night's sleep. It was not good. So hopefully we can keep it together. That's the goal here. I've had coffee. It should be okay. Mushi-Shi. Second raid. I got some stuff going on. Okay, paint me a picture. Interesting. Ankle. I did say about writing. That's certainly the case thus far. Who are you? Huh. A sea of writings. Gotcha. I guess that is how you write a scroll, huh? I never really thought about that. This is very pretty. It's very different. Hello? Okay. Pre-established relationship. Domo. Tanyu. Fate. Interesting. The archives. Interesting. I feel like I've talked about this before somewhat. I'd really like a Mushishi video game. It'd just be cool to wander around and I don't know, now we have 3 or 4 different locations that you could like feasibly go to and find in the world. This being one of them now, somewhere he has been before and will return to. Because again, I'm imagining this is like an archive on old information about Mushi and whatnot. It's not just Mushi stuff, it's everything stuff. And I don't want you to burn it. Secrets. Pardon? The story of Tanyu. Interesting. I see. That's pretty freaky. It looks like gangrenous. Or Jawson? I kind of see where we're going already a little bit. Yeah. Just destiny predetermined into this role. Absolutely. You're not old enough to understand, but old enough to at least hear out the justification. Ooh, Mushi. Interesting symbiosis between the families there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like any ecosystem. What kind? Oh, really? Evil Mushi. That's pretty fucked up. Maybe some remnant of it, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. So we've kind of been working at it a little bit. That's where we are now. Interesting. But obviously we haven't purged that yet, I don't think. Also, how would we even do such a thing? Go on. Interesting. Yeah, but when does it end, though? For how long do we need to do this? Until you're out of stories? Well, by that same token, because of you, I'm forced to have this birthmark and stuff. That's very, that's a nice sentiment. She ran out of stories. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all. Well, we've got some stories that aren't about killing. Yeah, it's not the correct tact, everybody. Well, talk to Ginkgo. You're talking to the wrong Mushishis, everybody. On all... Yes. So you've never met her, but you've met the grandmother. Gotcha. I'm gonna tell you some stories that aren't about that. Many more, even. Huh? Like on your face? The mole-eating Mushi? Please do tell. Where? Yeah, okay. What a weird episode. Higher? I think I see the framing now. Okay, so this is earlier. This isn't the same time that he's here now, I don't think. She's very charming. I would, yeah. Whatever you say. I think it's the voice. She's very elegant. Ginkgo's my favorite. What is that? Little something. Little guy. That's not good. This is cool. Yeah. The stuff with the text reminds me of episode 1. 100%. What the fuck are we supposed to do? Interesting effect. Well, they've all stopped. That's probably a good start. Ugh, slimy. Covered with my special paste. Sick. How the fuck are you doing? She's insane. She's incredible. How the fuck do you remember all this shit? I make mistakes in my job all the time. In the sea of writings, of course. Come on. I think he's got about 19 stories to tell. What? But I love overdoing it. So she doesn't take any notes or nothing? She just then locks in and goes. Starts typing away. It's like it's funneling out of her. Probably out of the leg, obviously. Like, yeah, she's almost like ink stained. I wish I could write like that in real life, though. Maybe without all the pain. What a story. I didn't think we were even close to an end. Whereabouts? Just outside Broadly. Yeah, but can we move? Does it have to be here? This, like, landscape's so dead. A little piggyback or something? It's got to write way more Mushi stories. What descendants? I don't know, probably go for a run. I'd like that. I'll still be here. Okay, now you need to stay alive, Ginkgo. Come on now. No death for you. Yeah. No, you won't. Well, happily ever after. Please, I need it in my soul. Please. If the series doesn't end with those two together, it's an abject failure. Nah, I'm playing. It was a fun episode, though. A little bit on the slower side, but yeah, I like it when we do something that's a little bit more overall important to, I guess, the outside world and, you know, the larger Mushishi community and places that, you know, Ginkgo has visited before. It means we could be a little bit more fast and loose with the world building because we don't need to explain the state of play to Ginkgo. He's already aware. And just in general, the idea of the writing coming to life is cool. I'll discuss the idea behind the Mushi that's in her leg too, because I find that fascinating also. Yeah, just, I don't know, the writing stuff goes back to episode 1 in a cool way. Again, all those symbols, they have meanings. Yeah, it's cool. Cotton Changeling. Changeling? Like fucking D&D type stuff? Okay. Trust. Alright, we'll do that now. Let's go. Radio episode 21. Up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 39 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the psych version. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below. I'm saying a lot of words. And yeah, let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1. Go. Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of like woke up to myself just then. That was odd. In my heart of hearts, I know that whatever we're teasing there at the end of last episode probably isn't going to end well. I can't imagine we even see her again. But it was befitting of the themings of the show, though. You know, continue to live, something to live for. If we can simultaneously be that for each other, that's in fitting with what we're trying to do. It's good. Once again, and kind of every single kind of step of that journey in the episode, every single character is ultimately trying to help each other out of ultimately a pretty shitty situation and make them all feel better about things. Again, even the older lady, the Mushishi, whose name is already escaping me because I'm terrible with names, she was like, I thought all this was kind of pointless until I, you know, met you, until you were born. Which is a really nice sentiment, right? Again, like, you and helping to protect you and teaching you and that kind of stuff is that became my purpose, and that's significant. It allowed me to continue to live, and live she did. It's cool. What are we doing this time? A cotton changeling. Okay, let's see. Northern Forest. The Mushi attached. Headwear. Oh yeah, look at it. Or was it some kind of cotton changeling? It's a fun link between the episodes already. There's a couple of Mushi things that have been kind of spread through, like hereditarily, like through childbirth. Did he say invited back? What did you tell them to do? Growing disturbingly quickly? He's rocking that turtleneck, though. Not sure it's particularly relevant. Ugh! What the fuck? He's a Dragon Quest slime. That's the... this is kind of scary, no? I don't like this. It's like a horror film. Something weird's going on. This is scary. Good for him. Go on. Sounds like a cat. Motherfucker, that's another child? Fuck this shit, man. I'm out. Terrifying. Yeah, but then what did you tell him to do? Yeah, I mean, that was my theory as well. Then what's the end game here? Oh yeah, look at it. Ew. I guess they can't see Mushi. Maybe give him a warning. Yeah, we definitely didn't kill him, eh? Yeah. I guess. Maybe try to be a bit more gentle at this time, Ginkgo. No, okay, we killed him. But what about the other, like, 4 kids? What are we going to do about them? The same thing's going to happen. Oh. Maybe we could roll lucky then. I mean, I've seen the future, I don't believe you. Yeah, I mean, I understand his perspective on it too. Do we call them all What the Hiko, or...? Ah, okay, so she's got... Yeah. I see. It's a cruel existence, man. Look at Goku, he's like, oh, fuck. I believe your story. I'm gonna have faith in you. Okay, and now back to present day, present time. Oh. Is anyone else like not freaked out right now? What the fuck? What did them kids say? What did it what? Ginkgo down! Ginkgo got shanked. Can't say I saw that coming. Okay. So they must have got to her. I sympathize. That's an understatement. Speed it up? The fucking Omni brain. It's gaining fucking intelligence all the time. These kids gotta go. I mean, that kid's gotta go. Like, now for sure. What is our ending here? You're not making this any easier. Jesus Christ. They gotta go. I'm getting the flamethrower. They gotta go. That's an interesting thought, though. You shouldn't be reading all that. I'm terrified. Good idea. Do we have a flamethrower? Don't trust. Do not trust. Why is it so cold? I know, man, but you still gotta go. Okay, so this must be the way they do the seeds. Or are they just burning the fucking house down? Oh, I mean that works too. Jesus Christ! This is suffering the episode. What? I don't want these freaks anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, they got out pretty easy. Oh. Oh. You gotta find a volcano or something, Genko. I do like the little lie he told, though. That's a smart guy. Terrifying. That's a terrifying episode. I'm very happy I get to get up and not look at that anymore. It's a big combination of things that I find particularly scary. It's like this kind of uncontrollable growth element to it. There's a lot of horror films like that. It was part The Thing. I find The Thing very scary. I don't like the idea of that. Kind of, mimicking humans and whatnot. Not cool. Don't like that. There's also it was almost like a Children of the Corn element to it. Scary little kids. Can't do scary little kids either. Yeah. It was a great episode, though. It was very entertaining. It just terrified me. Yeah, it's also pretty feel bad. Like, we don't... What did she do wrong? She didn't do anything wrong, and she had the worst thing ever happen to her. Like, continuously. She has the worst life. Put her right down... Like, if we're tiering, quality of life and quality of story, or, on, like, I would want to be her level, she's right at the bottom. She's the character that had the roughest go in the entire show, I would say. I don't know, maybe, the twin that got caught in the back rooms, that one was pretty bad too. But I mean, at least she got out. I don't know. I'll return tomorrow for a little bit more analysis on those two episodes. Holy shit, get me away from whatever the fuck that cotton changeling thing was. Holy shit. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes in the books. First episode is your pretty standard Mushishi fare, I would say. General concept of wanting to continue to live and persist through whatever life has thrown at us. And some new, I guess, recurring characters, or at least characters that Ginkgo has seen before. And also a similar concept of Mushi, whereby it's like we're doing something with writing. Again, that attaches nicely into the first episode. I will say it's unique, and I guess we'll explain what the Mushi does and why we sealed it the way we did, and I find that very interesting. And it's very anti a lot of other Mushi in the show. I feel like that's this episode's point of difference, as well as its, I guess, somewhat far-reaching consequences by the end. I was feeling a little bit of tension between those two characters. I do like how we're doing a little bit of stuff where we're teasing characters may like each other. And I don't know, for a show that is sometimes as peaceful and sometimes a little bit, I don't know, just safe as Mushishi. It is nice that we can see characters that have some bit of smolder and romantic tension and stuff. I don't know, it's only a little bit, but it's a point of difference is my point. So yeah, that's kind of, by the very end, like the lead in, and again, the kind of noteworthy thing about the episode is that we kind of have this ending thing that, hey, once I solve this, can I come join you and we'll go, search the world for more Mushis and tell stories and stuff and be together. It's cute. And again, it gives her a goal more than anything else. Needless to say, I'm saying all of this to build up to episode 21, which was a large departure for the rest of the series. It's dead set terrifying. It's a terrifying episode. It is scary, which is a different look, absolutely, for sure. We have had bits and pieces where I'll go, ugh, or like be a little bit, perturbed at what's going on, a little bit like, oh, I don't know about all that. This is just straight up like horror. This is like they've people that aren't people that are posing. I don't know. It's like Alien or something. It was odd. There's a lot of point of references for it, I feel. And again, the horror there is so like normal. You know what I mean? Like it's literally just applying concepts from nature that many creatures do, plants and bugs and whatnot. They, you know, parasites, they like preserve their children and want to perpetuate life above all else and can sense danger and do all these other kind of things, but applying it to something so familiar to us, to children, and kind of adding into this kind of like parasitic pregnancy angle too. It's just, it freaked me out. I didn't like it. And by I didn't like it, I mean I liked it because it was very good television. It was compelling. I was on the edge of my seat. But it gave me the heebie-jeebies. So yeah, we'll unpack that one in time too. I also think our conclusion there is quite smart. I feel like Ginkgo took the bullet in a lot of ways, in a very smart way, in a very, you know, like, he's conscious of people's emotions kind of way. It was good. It was a good episode from him overall. He showed a little bit of sympathy. It gave a little bit of leeway. They abused that. And then it's like, hey, no, you guys can't be trusted with this anymore. I'm taking matters into my own hands. So yeah, you kind of got the full spectrum of the show in today's 2 episodes. So yeah, I mean, it continues to impress. It's hitting its stride more and more. And again, as the show continues and episodes are blending together a little bit, it is nice to have episodes that I will remember in 6 weeks' time. You know what I mean? And like, oh yes, I remember the scary episode. And I remember the episode with the lady that's very charming. So yeah, let's dive back through here. So in a little intro here before the title card, we see Tanyu here toiling away, sweating, sweat down the side of the face. Hard at work, focused on continually writing, potentially drowning in a sea of such things. One thing we do early here is hide that other leg. She's got it under herself right now, so we kind of see that later on, and it's a little bit more of a shock. I liked that as a reveal. I don't know what the landscape here in general reminds me of, but it's another point of difference for the episode. I feel like this is a different landscape that we have been seeing. It's very kind of Highlandsy, and even a little bit more like kind of mainland Asia-y as well, I would say, rather than Japan, which is generally characterized a little bit more foresty. But again, I'm generalizing, it's a big country. It just, yeah, I feel like this looks dead. I would not like to be here. That's my scorching hot take, I guess. Can you guys just move? I would move. I guess the archives are there. Ginkgo arrives, Tama welcomes him in. There's, you know, it's established that they already know each other, which is very quickly done. It's some nice writing again. Now, I need to check upon this rewatch here, but I got a little bit confused during the reaction. I feel like this episode itself kind of plays over, like, 2 periods. Once where Ginkgo is first meeting this whole situation and communicating for the first time, and once again when he's like revisiting. So I got to kind of clock in when that happens. Maybe clothes would be a good start. He's rocking the turtleneck in a lot of this, so maybe he's not rocking the turtleneck in some other stuff. Darker colors here early too. So I misinterpreted this line the first time through as well. Again, hand me your cigar, you're not allowed to smoke in here. And Tama says that, hey, these aren't merely just guidelines to seal Mushi. Have you forgotten that? Now, I assumed that this line meant that these were archives for everything. So, like, historical facts and, like, I don't know, accounting records, and they go back a long way. It was a broader archive than it is. No, it's just merely suggesting that what we're writing on and the things that we are writing are not just ink on a page. It is a mushi. So we do tend to need to be careful around here. And you're very stern about that. This is, yeah, again, we're kind of getting that on the rewatch here. My sources are telling me that this phrase here is raison d'etre, which kind of means the most important reason for them being here. In this case, I feel like the most important reason for these being here aren't as a kind of historical resource for other Mushishi. It's to help Tanyu. That's the whole idea here, and to try to evacuate this crazy Mushi out of her fucking system or whatever. So again, not for their content that we're writing it down, they have another more important reason for existing. Again, it helps when you understand what this phrase means, sure. From here we start doing our flashback and explaining, again, the existence of why we're writing all this stuff down. Why are we doing what we're doing here right now? I do like early in the dialogue, it's like, okay, now you're up to Tanyu's generation, which means that now, again, Ginkgo goes to read this and it starts documenting her from the very beginning. It's a foreword by Tama for Tanyu's writing. Because again, she can't write about her own birth. It's not clicking. The episode's clicking more on a rewatch, everybody. That's crazy. And yeah, we're very quickly introduced here to Tanyu. She has a black birthmark. That means she's the 4th generation scribe. We quickly introduce a conflict which will be central to her, that she is locked inside and forced to duty instead of being able to be a free person that's able to go outside and do whatever. Specifically, again, here outside, play outside, presumably in nature. She wants to, again, go follow Ginkgo and hear about these stories firsthand, or experience these stories firsthand a little bit later on. So this is all just lining up very nicely. And it is tragic. I mean, this kid's just got something up with them and they can't go outside or do nothing. Again, it's very easy to apply this to somebody that's, again, potentially born with a disability or something, right? To just have a very different childhood to everybody else because of something that they can't control. And here we go. That birthmark on your right leg is a remnant of a Mushi sealed away inside you. My Mushishi ancestor sealed the forbidden Mushi in your ancestor's body. So again, my side with the Mushishi and your side with the ancestors have been kind of in sync this entire time and kind of locked into place by our predecessors. By nature, flora and fauna are in harmony with Mushi. Where they live with Mushi. Where they die, Mushi die as well. They're in sync with each other, much like, again, our family is in sync with each other too. But once upon a time, when there was, famine and disease and disaster and stuff, a different sort of Mushi appeared. One that attempted to erase all other life. Now, we're going to talk about a word called symbiosis here. That's generally been the relationship between Mushi and every other living thing, right? In some way, we're working with each other and against each other. There's a friction there, there's a push and a pull. This thing, I don't feel like is doing that. This thing feels like a different kind of Mushi that almost breaks the Mushi rules. It isn't a Mushi that should be, I guess, revered and respected like many others that are just kind of doing their job in nature. This thing seems like outright terrible. It's just going to erase everything. It's a killer Mushi. It's like I don't know. In the same way that flora and fauna, when they're all dying and being erased as well, there's now a Mushi that almost replicates like disaster and famine and stuff. Like that's terrible. We don't want that, right? No records have ever been made about this Mushi, or even how it was sealed inside your body, or your predecessor's body. So then it goes like this. So again, that ancestor was pregnant when the Mushi was sealed inside of her. She turned like all black. She went like crazy. And then she had a kid, and then she died like immediately. And then the kid had a birthmark. And then we right, and then that kid has a kid, and then it has a smaller birthmark, and then right. It's like, again, we're almost like depleting the Mushi over time as we're writing more and more stuff down. Yeah, even using the phrase here, forbidden Mushi. I'm watching this one, and I want to, because again, it's very against the rest of the philosophy in the show to have a Mushi that just seems outright shit. We don't like this guy at all. Even again, next episode. I'm not a huge fan, obviously. It's terrifying to me. But I understand it. It's just trying to reproduce and replicate itself as best it can. I don't know, it's like getting mad at any parasite. They're just doing what they're doing. I don't know. This thing, it seems like completely opposite. It's just like full bad. It just erases. It doesn't do anything else. Like, instead of it being like an energy preservation situation, it's an energy eliminator. It just doesn't produce anything else. But again, there's not a lot of knowledge about it, blah, 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 caveats, you know how it goes. And yeah, we kind of explained the whole writing it down to kind of seal the Mushi. And again, we'll talk about the idea here, but we write down stories from Mushishi to try to deplete this thing, which I feel like is in sync, right? So we're spreading knowledge about Mushi, and that is in turn depleting this Mushi that will erase everything to nothing. The framing of this episode's really smart as well. If we come back here for but a moment, before we go into that flashback and start explaining stuff, we kind of peer in and look at Tanyu for just a second. Right here, where she's asleep, and then this whole sequence is played as a flashback. And then she awakes, and it's like, okay, we framed it as almost like a dream from long ago. It helps inform the audience, and is also a natural way for these kind of facts to be recounted in the narrative, considering all these characters kind of know each other already. Now, I get to talk about Tanyu's VA, which I believe is Ai Kobayashi. Yeah, I guess I did look that up and kind of cheated, because I'm just going to reveal this now. She's in it again. She's in it more, and she's also got a suitable number of favorites, so I'd imagine she comes back somewhat. She's a star. She should be Or should have had a bigger career? Seems like she's not really doing much stuff anymore. Oh, hang on, she was in Uzumaki randomly. Okay, she's still kicking. She's fantastic. So charming. What a charming voice. And yeah, I mean, a huge part of why I'm into this character as much as I am. Because again, the character design stuff, we've been through it. It's pretty... she blends in with everybody else. I feel like the voice is the separator there, for sure, for sure. Once again, we're bringing up that word, symbiosis. The same kind of symbiosis we see between kind of nature and Mushi, and that whole kind of sequence working in tandem, the yin and the yang of it all. We see that same kind of concept playing out between, Mushishi and Mushi in real time between these two characters, right? The interplay here and the communication between and the spreading of knowledge is the thing that ultimately defeats the worst Mushi of them all, and kind of continued symbiosis between two families as well, right? Throughout time, again, one always associated with the Mushishi, one always associated with the Mushi. It makes perfect sense. It's very big picture stuff, and I feel like it fits in quite well. It's a great little microcosm of the rest of the concepts of the show. And we go through the full kind of, the full spectrum of emotion here. Sometimes it's these really funny, kind of characterful stories. Sometimes they're really kind of dark and sad. Sometimes they're really scary. Is this not the same thing that we kind of see with Ginkgo and him? Each of the stories we see in the rest of the show, like they're the full spectrum of everything, right? It encompasses all facets of life, good things, bad things, everything else in between. It's a very smart show. This is a very big picture episode, I feel. And this is a really nice sentiment too. So Tanyu says, when she kind of learns everything and what the purpose is and blah, 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 it's like, hey, well, you must resent you needing to be a Mushishi and needing to care after me and be associated with me and perform your side of the symbiosis there. Like, you never had freedom in the same way that I don't have freedom, we're kind of locked in together. And this is a lovely sentiment from Tama, right? Those feelings disappeared the first time I met you, right? The first time I saw you, I'm like, okay, no, this is something that I'm kind of locked in with and need to care for. It's like this, like, really motherly parental moment here. Because again, like, Tanyu's been taken away from her actual parents. This is the closest thing we're actually getting here. It's just really sweet. And maybe helps Tanyu realize her role in it all as well, right? If Tama here is able to, I guess, reflect and see the positives in what we're doing, right? Then maybe I am too. She's much older than I am, and she's been locked into this thing for a very long time too, right? Maybe I should count my lucky stars that potentially at some point I will get rid of this thing and have a little bit of freedom right at the end of my life. Not like Tama, who's again, been locked in this kind of role ever since. Yeah, a bit of perspective, a little bit of, I guess, empathy. It's good. It's good character stuff. Oh, this episode's a bang on a rewatch. So now I'm seeing what we're doing from the Mushishi side of the equation, right? So, again, the Mushi over this side, we have that Mushi that is the birthmark, that is, the eraser, and is a forbidden Mushi. It's like a bad thing. Not really doing the to and fro of the energy, just being the eliminator. Then we have the Mushishi on the other side, the Mushishi that Tanyu doesn't respect, which are the exact same. They just eliminate the Mushi. They don't help it to live somewhere else. They don't help it to continue. They simply just eliminate. Are you not the very same as the birthmark that is cursing me? Like, that's kind of what we're trying to get at there. I should also mention the reason why these other Mushishi are coming as well. Tama's basically run out of stories, so I need more and more things to write down and to kind of record, more archives there, more information. Let's reach out to other people. That's the reason why Ginkgo is even here in the first place too. Like, specifically this bold guy here, he just introduces like an invasive species. Like, no, that's not... That's definitely not the right thing to do. History has taught us that. Killing brought along by arrogance for smaller life, and by unfounded fears of things different from themselves, or than themselves. This fucking show's very smart. It's very, very smart, for sure. There's just some wonderful philosophy in it, and some stuff that you should take forth into the rest of your life and think about in all aspects. I don't know. It's a deep, deep show. It really is, and so mature as well. For anime normally gets a little bit of a bad name, in potentially being a little bit immature and a little bit obvious sometimes, and whatnot. This is the exact opposite. This is for adults. Adults should enjoy this, you know? It's not seinen by name, it's seinen by nature, you know? They're also scumbags because they're picking on Tanyu for her naivete. It's like, well, that's just naive, you saying that we shouldn't kill them. You haven't seen them before. Bitch, I haven't had the opportunity to see them because I'm fucked. My leg's fucked. Like, use your fucking head. And then, yeah, now we have Ginkgo. This is Ginkgo from before in a flashback. We can tell by shirt. So what shirt? He's not wearing his turtleneck. Again, Ginkgo here rolls up. He has Riz. he doesn't again treat Mushi the same way that all these other Mushishi are. We've seen that evidenced in the show. It's pretty obvious stuff. What I want to talk about is the connection between Ginkgo and Tanyu from this almost like cursed by Mushi angle, right? Like I've always been able to see Mushi and felt almost cursed by that. There was the stuff with his mother before all the Nui stuff as well. That kind of runs into that. But then there is the kind of ending of that episode as well. The ending of that episode 12, I believe it was, where again he is now irreversibly changed from his interactions with Mushi. This is very similar to Tanyu, and it's almost something they can bond over and how we can associate them as characters. From here, the episode moves quite quickly. Again, no turtleneck. This is still in the past. Majority of this episode does happen in the past as well. It reminds me of the episode... God, I really should remember their names. The twins. A lot of that episode happened in the past as well before coming back right around the end for a little bit of a conclusion. Ginkgo has managed to impress Tanyu to the point where, you know, we're letting him into the archives to have a look, even without Tama's permission. Well, that's a really fun line too. So everything here is a record of death, in the same way that it's written with the same ink that is also the Mushi of death as well, right? In order to tilt that balance a little bit more, potentially move it from this, you know, darker color to a lighter one, or at least have a little bit more of a, you know, even split there. I want more stories about animals and Mushi living together. I want more happy stories and stuff. So again, you stand out as a point of difference to other Mushishi. Please tell me such stories. Oh no, see, I'm mistaken here and now. Okay. Weird. Am I mistaken? Hang on. Let's skip ahead. Because this is when it all starts going crazy. No, this is actual, like, real time. That's mental. Okay, so I misunderstood again, even in the rewatch. That's poor of me. I don't know. It is a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough. It's kind of recounting two separate meetings of, again, Ginkgo and Tanyu, with not a lot of, you know, character design separation or color changes or whatnot. So it's tough. Because again, once again, she was just kind of sitting here smoking, thinking about Ginkgo, and then Tama's like, Ginkgo's here, and then she's pretty fucking jazzed about it too. Look how happy she is. Hell yeah. So my understanding here is that we have bookworm eggs. That is an indicator that there's a bunch of bookworms that have infested the writing material. If we like get rid of the paper, then the Mushi that's in the ink itself will like get loose almost. As we could see here, it's a really cool effect of the text kind of leaking out of all the scrolls and stuff. Again, leading to this cool shot by the very end here, where again it's all over the walls and it's trying to escape. However, Tanyu's a woman in control. She's already sealed the room and proceeds to start putting it all back together. This is when she really comes across as a woman that has it all together, right? So I now know exactly what I wrote down, when I wrote it down, what volume it is, and where to put each sentence. Like, I've got that all clocked in up here. Such a hard worker and so committed to her role is that she's able to do this, like, no sweat at all. There's also, like, a begrudging relationship that she has with the ink here as well. It's like, oh, you're back. Like, that almost kind of thing. It's like she's putting part of herself almost into the writing as well. Again, there's lots to dig into. So yeah, walls are covered in a special paste. I think the special paste stops the Mushi from moving on the walls so she can grab it. She grabs it with like a pair of chopsticks and then starts placing it back on the page. There's a really, really great sense of like fantasy and like skill to this process as well. I love the way it's animated. I love her precision with it. She's so cool. Is she not so cool? I feel like she's so cool. And yeah, with a line here at the end of the scene, hey, I won't make any mistakes since this is, after all, my job. Again, committed to the process, committed to doing what she needs to do, making peace with her, I guess, the thing that's been thrust upon her and her duty. In the same way that, again, Tama made peace with her side upon meeting Tanyu. Like, that's It's just working wonderfully. After that whole debacle, the two are able to meet briefly and discuss Mushi stories and whatnot. Again, we've seen 19 odd of these stories. I'm sure Ginkgo would have a lot of things to say to her. And yeah, upon hearing the stories now, we have Tanyu channeling the words through herself, almost up from the leg, through her brain, down through her hand onto the page. Ginkgo is going to be here to witness the entire process at this time. It's pretty cool. I like that we get to see it finally happening. Is this not such a cool episode? Is this not... This has to be like a fan favorite episode, right? I really love this one. I feel like it's great. Also love some of the narration here from Ginkgo as well. There is a young woman ravaged by Mushi who loves Mushi while sealing them away. There's a lot of kind of opposites there and a lot of, again, like push and pull, as I keep saying, right? Like for all intents and purposes, she should hate what she's doing, and Mushi by proxy, right, and want to eliminate them. But no, the reason why she's successful in being able to eliminate this like forbidden Mushi in the end is because she loves them so very much and understands them, right? She's working from that same philosophy as Ginkgo. That's why she is as successful as she is, you know. Finishing the episode here, we have Tanyu, instead of resting, wanting to go outside and at least be out there with Ginkgo just for about a moment. It's very cute that Ginkgo's giving her a piggyback and stuff, because again, the whole leg situation, and it's all just cute. It's cute, no? Like, if we're going to be outside and want to have a chat out there, then this is the best way to move. And yeah, kind of speeding through our little ending here. The whole point here is that it seems like it's slow going with the birthmark, right? Will I ever get it done? Will I end up passing it off to descendants? Will I curse another person down my bloodline with needing to do this task? Instead of doing that, instead of having her worry about that, we give her a little bit of a carrot at the end of the stick, you know, like something to help her to continue. Ginkgo frames it here very smartly. What will you do if your leg heals? I want to travel with you, is what she says. Oh my god, it's crazy. I end up seeing this as almost like a... I don't know. You see it in a couple of other things. Like, I promise that if we get to a certain age, that we'll just marry each other. If we can't find anything better, we're like our like kind of backup plan, if that makes any sense. Like, if you're still traveling, right, and you haven't died yet, and I've gotten rid of this thing and can walk and haven't died yet, do you want to make this pact that we'll both hang out together? It's just awesome. It's awesomely cute. I love it. And yeah, works perfectly as a motivator for you to continue to be studious with your job and commit to your duty, and works for Ginkgo as a motivator to continue to live as well. Likewise yourself too. It's just a wonderful ending. Wonderful, wonderful. Completely understanding, I guess, the show's ultimate thesis statement, which is to live, I would say. You need to continue to stay alive. You need to continue to commit to your duty. Just wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Leading into the ED there. Now, let's go get terrified. Let's go. Okay, immediately we start with the, I guess, foreboding language, you know. So I was to be wed, and I traveled through the forest. I think it was probably then that it attached itself to me. This is, again, the mother here. She has a name. I'll get it shortly. She's almost framing it like she's telling the story after all is said and done. Like, I think it was probably then that it attached itself to me. Like, you know, no pronouns there. No, it's like a mushi or a parasite or something. But it is also something that you end up considering close to your own child. So I feel like that's interesting. It's almost like you've had that development by the very end, where you no longer consider it whatever the kid's name was. You no longer name it like that. And yeah, starting off as this kind of small green stain upon the headwear. Maybe that's just a language thing, because I thought that this was after all is said and done that we're doing this narration, but no, it's when that she was kind of explaining, I guess, the green splotch. Yeah, because she doesn't know yet. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. We only think it's green splotches. We don't know that all the kids are also fucked. Well, we also do, but she's living in denial. Anyway, weird start to my analysis of this episode, but sure. Yeah, you got weird fucking blonde kids everywhere. And Ginkgo clocks them immediately, right? They're talking here about this what the hiko, right? Well, when this kid was born, did it actually have a proper shape of a child? And excuse me for being kind of personal about it, but was it just like a green ball of like slime or something? Once again here, it is quite hard to tell when these episodes are taking place over 2 periods of time, when each time period is, especially when you're thrust into them very early. So again, now, the first scene we saw was Ginkgo meeting with them the first time and giving them a diagnosis, and we'll see more of that play out as the mystery is kind of unraveled. But now Ginkgo is coming back because something didn't happen the way he wanted it to happen. And yeah, the episode itself happens over 2 different time periods, and the audience kind of needs to clock that. I guess we do help the case there with some nice transitions, so we kind of go from here, and we kind of do this blinding white, right, after this guy finishes talking, before we come back in to Ginkgo having that conversation. So we're right back to where we were. Even after, you know, that, we still almost go back to that flashback, and then we have a flashback within it where we explain what happened when the kid was first born. There's a lot of time stuff going on. And yeah, I feel like the thing we want to emphasize here as well is that this sucks for Aki, who is the name of the wife here. We explain later on, and I guess I'll just do it now. She, like, was married into, like, a different family, a prestigious one, right? But then ended up not being able to have children, miscarried, did all that kind of stuff, right? And was kind of shunned and divorced from and left behind because of that. So she's got a huge complex about having children and wanting to be a mother and stuff. So again, it's tragic that this is happening to her more than anybody else, right? It's like the worst possible thing that continually keeps happening when she tries to have kids. Like, that's not fair. And again, the little lie that Ginkgo tells by the very end there is probably a blessing in disguise. So yeah, little slime guy comes out instead of a child, and then it hides under the floorboards, and then it starts generating fucking human children. Once again, ratcheting up the tragedy for Aki. After this happened, she was, like, depressed. She was, like, giga depressed. She just, like, spent a day shut inside the house, nothing to live for. I don't know, she wouldn't have been in a good headspace. Then 1 year later, we look below the house, and there's a fucking child, like a newborn baby, scratching at the fucking, like supports on the house. Like, this is insane. And again, let's broaden this out, because you guys saw the episode. I don't need to hit, you know, every reveal beat by beat. Like, it's just doing what, like, a plant would do, which is like, hey, this is like its seed, or like a bug or something, right? It's going to go out somewhere else and just proliferate, right? It's going to try to, like, live for as long as it can until it, like, gestation almost, right? And then it's just going to go, and then there's going to be more seeds for it. Because again, like, that's the whole reason why Aki was infected in the first place. She just was rolling through the forest and got kind of one of the seeds attached to it, right? I'm imagining that once these kids kind of bear their whatever, right? It's going to be like more copies of that first parasite that got into her, you know? But it's Aki's, it's her trauma that is pushing her to want to keep this thing around, even though it isn't her child. It's almost preying upon that in a weird way. I don't know, there's no shortage of horror media as well that is kind of about pregnancy or subtextually about having children. It's a very real kind of fear, you know? Like it's something that happens all the time, and it's kind of like the scary thing, you know? I don't know, there's a lot going on here, for sure. So yeah, Aki takes the kid in. Dad's not ultimately all that impressed with it, but, you know, hey, if it makes her feel better, again, she's my wife, I want to support her and stuff. Kid's a bit weird. He's got the mind of an infant, is what we say here. He's nonverbal, basically, right? Because again, he's like it's like the first time that this kind of insect is even, like, living. Does that mean he's, you know what I mean? Like, the first time this Mushi is experiencing any of this stuff, so of course it's going to be a bit slower. After a while, it picks up speech. After a while, because again, it kind of works with this kind of network of the guys. They all kind of share thoughts. But before that, it's very kind of stunted. So yeah, again, it's something about the eyes too. It just, he freaks me out. I don't like the kid. We really emphasize that the child looks a lot like us, and it feels like it was our child, and it feels like this miraculous thing that was almost given to us in the wake of the tragedy that happened before. Like, it's a huge part of the horror here of, like, it abusing our emotions and our ability to not recognize a threat that looks like us, and using Aki's trauma as well, her really strong want to have children. Like, that's where it gets all manipulative and fucked, you know? Then yeah, more and more kids. Again, we saw the kids in the intro too. Yeah, every single year there's more and more what the hikos, and they look like each other to, like, a scary degree. It's like they're clones. Again, like, there's no reason why a seed generated from a plant or something would look any different to another seed generated from the same plant. It's going to replicate, right? It's not as, I don't know, what's the word? Sophisticated as the system of human reproduction, which is again, combining genes of two other people. You know, it's just kind of replicating with itself. So it's going to keep making Watahikos, you know. But again, it also looks like Arky because it was inside Arky. That's the fucked up part, you know. It's all like scary and gross and weird. So this is where I kind of got a little bit like I don't know, I got freaked out. Why is the Mushi called Watahaki and we call the kid Watahiko? Is that just a coincidence? I think so. But those are very similar to one another. And yeah, we call the specific kind of kids themselves, right? These things that spread out in the shape of babies, we call them hitotake, of course. Hitotake rolls right off the tongue. Anyway, I'm imagining there's just some... We're doing like a pun there or something, maybe, with the names being very similar. I don't know, Ginkgo immediately clocks this as like a bad thing. And that the kid itself, I can't save the kid. The kid's just at the end of its life form. Even if I can, you know, call it a kid, it's a Mushi, right? It's about to pop and have seeds go everywhere. Like, the kid's not going to live much longer, and we don't want to let this thing kind of continue to infest itself. I don't know, coming right off the heels of an episode where Ginkgo's the point of difference by being a Mushishi that doesn't kill a bunch of Mushi, going from him to, you know, running in here and killing a bunch of Mushi is a take, for sure. I guess it goes to show the spectrum of how we should deal with these things. Sometimes death is the answer. Hang on, that's probably what we're getting at with the ending, right? He actually ends up keeping the thing alive, despite his, you know, good sense telling him not to do so. So maybe over the course of the episode, he actually was influenced to consider this Mushi as a little bit more human, and at least preserve its life a little bit more than he would otherwise. Like like we move, like the parents out of the picture, and we move them along to thinking this thing's monstrous and kind of try to break them out of whatever they had going on. And maybe by that same token, Ginkgo's moving closer to their side and considering, again, this Mushi to be a little bit more, I guess, intelligent than the average one. And I don't know, and again, reconvince him to save it in the end. Again, I think that's what the ending is meaning to get at, which means it isn't as much in conflict with the, I guess, philosophy of the previous episode. And of course, again, this thing's been here the entire time, they just can't see Mushi, so there's always been like this kind of green sludge under the house, almost just persisting here for years. I don't know, it's just this rot. I don't like it. Oh, really like this moment here too, where we kind of let the dad here take a hold of some of the soil, which is infested with the Mushi as well, and it kind of starts moving around in the sunlight. Again, we've kind of seen how light is very important in this process, and how the sun is kind of a deterrent for certain Mushi. So again, if it likes to hide in the ceiling or in basements or under the houses and whatnot, it mightn't like the sun very much, which is why it freaks out. It's just smart, consistent with the rest of the world building. That's also the purpose of the kids too, for the larger kind of, I forget its name already, it started with a W. For the larger organism, they're kind of connected with strings, right? And you're just to go out and find more nutrients. Again, I'm seeing like a plant, very much so, right? Like, hey, you sprout out and you're like a pretty flower or something, right? To like kind of attract insects and whatnot, or a vegetable or something like that. You're these things that are to go out, spread out, leaves, start the kind of whole chlorophyll process, everything, right? You know, photosynthesis, and also spread the seeds. Like, that's what's happening here right now, you know? Like, these kids are like, you know, flowers or leaves of a plant spreading out of the ground. And yeah, then now we start to get the emotional side of it too. Hey, we're going to have to kill this kid. Of course, mom's not going to want that. He's my boy. I have a huge complex built up by various experiences in my life to build up to me wanting to keep this kid and putting everything into him. We're not going to let you kill him. And Ginkgo's kind of cold here. I don't know. Potentially he could serve to be a little bit more emotionally smart here in this early stage. He kind of gets there by the very end by telling the lie that he tells and kind of letting her down gently because of that. But again, he's like calling this woman's children not children. It's not just Watahiko number one, it's all the Watahikos, right? These children that you think are your children are merely Mushi wearing the skin of your child. Like, that's just, I would phrase that a different way if I wanted to get the result that I wanted to get, Ginkgo. Like, she's just appalled. Like, I don't know, what did you expect? In the end, Ginkgo is able to convince her to take care of Watahiko number one here, with the help of the husband. The husband, a little bit more of a realist, of course, isn't as close emotionally as the mother, obviously. But that then begs the question of, hey, well, you know, what are you going to do about the other kids? Like, there's still 4 more of these fuckers. And this is where Ginkgo makes the choice that he does, right? Like, am I trusting this guy? He says that whenever these kids are going to show symptoms again, I'm going to take it personally and kill them, right? I'm going to be the person to do that, right? But I don't know you. I have no basis to trust you on that. So I guess you get a little bit of a trial period whereby I'll come back in 3 months and see what's going on. Because again, this thing's going to continue to spread out kids for anywhere from 10 to 30 years. It's been 3 years so far. They've got like 5 kids. Like, are you going to be able to do this that many times? Am I going to be able to trust you to do this for the next 30 years? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like we give him a lot of leeway here in the kind of in the review, you know, after reviewing the actions. Like, I wouldn't have even come close to doing this. It's also a fun little kind of reference to the end of the episode here. We have Ginkgo kind of taking the first Watahiko and burning him. Like, that's ultimately going to be the fate of all the Watahikos in the end. Almost trying to take the danger and burning them and like starting again, trying to trap Ginkgo in there. Like, trap the humans that know and try to start again. Yeah, it's a very interesting decision. Again, like, fire bad, but also fire bad for you. And again, Dad here's trying to do the right thing. I understand how much, you know, my wife loves these kids. I want her to be able to experience, you know, being a parent in her own way as much as possible, rather than just, you know, wiping our hands of the whole thing. Question: if they were to wipe their hands of the whole thing and burn the place to the ground and take out the whole kind of Mushi now, would they be able to have kids? Or has she been infected with a Mushi to the point where she'll never ever be able to have normal kids again? It's just going to continue to be this like freak thing. I don't know, I guess it's not real life science, we can never know, but I don't know, food for thought maybe. Yeah, again, this is where we're doing the context about Aki and what happened before and the reason why she feels so strongly about her children and being a mother. Oh wait, no, it wasn't even like a stillbirth kind of situation. No, the kid just died of something else a year later? What? They got divorced because... That's... What? That's fucking stupid. Anyway, maybe she was depressed about it and that kind of led to the divorce in a bit of a more concrete way. If not, there's... What? Who is this merchant guy and why is he just a cunt? I don't understand. I don't know. Ginkgo has a little bit of sympathy for her and allows, again, a provisional period. He'll come back in 3 months. I guess that is in line with kind of last episode's philosophy, right? We're going to give him a chance. Everything deserves a chance to live. It is unprecedented. It isn't normally what Mushishi should do, but I feel like Ginkgo was the only Mushishi that would have even given them close to a chance, you know? The rest of them just go down there and kill the thing straight away. He says, I have my own reasons for letting this happen. You certainly do. It's a pretty, you know, inbuilt and consistent philosophy. This is when the kids start to speak, and now they're communicating with each other using, like, telepathy. It's all just... Now it all begins, you know? And see, this is where I was getting that kind of, like, possession vibe, too, because... the smallest of the Watahikos here just like legit speaks and like speaks with his mouth to Mom and says he's coming. Like Mom almost gets influenced here to the point of her brandishing a knife and stabbing Ginkgo. Like we're almost using Mom in the process of our plans to just want to continue to, you know, proliferate this particular Mushi. Like that's crazy. That's like a very, very scary kind of proposition. Like devil demon baby almost taking control of Mum through, like, her parental bond. Like, that's crazy. Like, look, she's just like, yes, he is coming. I must protect them. She doesn't even question it for a second. That's terrifying. Yeah, oh, I love the shots here, too. So, again, Aki Ginkgo has arrived. We kind of see her round the corner here. She's just holding something there under her apron. She just rounds the corner very meekly. She doesn't really speak very, like, a lot. It's just, something's off. Something's a little bit freaky. It's like a scary shot of her almost. And yeah, that's when she goes for the fucking stab. She just like shanks him like it's modern day London. That's crazy. More than anything, Ginkgo's just pissed off after getting stabbed. He's like, what? Why'd she... I just want to go home. I don't know. This is... paired with this face too. It's just like, oh shit. I got in way more than I bargained for with this thing. It's more just a nuisance getting stabbed than anything else. Again, he is in a bad way. We do play off the stab wound kind of reopening a little bit later on too. So, yeah, maybe he should have stayed in bed a little bit longer. For the record, Mum here is just like a victim. Like, Aki's a victim here, so... I don't know. It's very hard to blame her for the whole stabbing thing. She's all just fucked in the head, you know? And it's not her fault. And yeah, maybe the whole vibe here is that it hasn't been 3 months yet. This guy communicated with Ginkgo sooner than that and told him to come back. Mainly because the kids were growing out of control. So like, hey, my 4th son was peeling a chestnut, then the 5th son was doing that way earlier. Like, again, and their development's super sped up compared to the first Watahiko. So like the base thing down there, the Mushi, it's learning every single time, you know. So yeah, they're gradually getting smarter, and one of them learns to talk, and then coincidentally all of them then learn to talk. It's all just, yeah, it's freaky. It's unnatural. Now this reminded me of Frieren, and I wonder if anybody else had a similar thought here. What are they called in Frieren? Demons, I believe. Yeah. Spoilers for Frieren, I guess. Pretty broad spoilers. But there's a race of, I guess, people, creatures in Frieren called demons, and they all like mimic humans and use that to their best ability to end up killing them. They have no morals. They have no morals at all. That is the number one thing you learn about them. They will use every trick in the book to want to continue to live and to eventually feast on humans and do that side of things. This is the same thing that the kid's doing. It's learned how to speak. It doesn't believe these words. It just understands that it's something that you say that will prevent the parents from killing you. It is emotionally manipulating them, not feeling anything on this side, to try to get a desired result. You know, it's so very cynical. And again, it's the fucked part is that Mum's already mentally almost gone, right? And like it shares like features of both my wife and I. Like I feel hesitant to do what I need to do, even though I promised, because of what it's doing. You know, it's so very effective. And again, it's scary. It's a scary kind of, you know, proposition. So then, yeah, it becomes harder and harder for us to want to kill them, right? Because they look more and more like people. At what point are we just murdering people? Murdering kids at that, you know? It's a tough dilemma. Not one that, again, Ginkgo's distance here helps a lot. There's almost some, like, Darwinism to it as well. So the first kid, like evolution, I mean. Like, the first kid died, right? He got killed. He got burnt. The organism then goes, oh, well, that didn't work. We gotta speed up. We gotta get smarter here. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep dying and never get able to, or be able to spread the seeds, right? So it's almost like that natural desire to, for anything to just like grow and proliferate that is driving this growth of these weird alien children. They gotta get smarter. They gotta get tougher. And they're going to manipulate. This part gets a bit hazy for me, so the kids are then kind of talking to themselves, saying, we failed. We need to protect the seeds. We forgot the best method to protect the seeds. When we learned to speak, we lost our memory of almost like how we can protect the seeds the best way. That's when the kid reads it in Ginkgo's fucking scrolls and realizes fire. I think that's part of this. Like one of the Watahikos here just like spies on Ginkgo's shit while he's recovering from being stabbed. Like, oh shit, we relearnt the thing that we can do to protect the seeds. I mean, if we let these kids go on any longer, I don't know, they're starting to read and fucking write and speak and stuff. It could get pretty fucking bad pretty quick, you know? I don't know. Like a whole army of fucking scary alien children that all kind of share a consciousness. It's scary. Ginkgo's finally recovered enough to the point where he can start to administer the medicine again. First I want to kill the second eldest son and then take the rest with me and kind of get rid of the Mushi and take matters into my own hands. You've shown you can't be trusted. The second son here tries to bring out the whole save me, I don't want to die type stuff, and Ginkgo just doesn't buy it at all. And they have a quick conversation here which I thought was quite interesting. Like, hey, well, why do you kill us, Ginkgo? It's like, because you eat human children. It's like, well, isn't that our nature to do so? So it's not my fault, but it's not my fault that I have to kill you either, you know? I'm just bigger and stronger than you. You know, it's just the circle of life and nature play, like taking its course, you know? But it's an ominous line. It almost feels like gloating before what happens. Like, we're stronger. Well, do you want to bet on that, buddy? We're about to enact some kind of plan. Again, it's like this very, that word again, Darwinistic fight between like two life forms, humans and whatever the hell this thing is, right? And, you know, it's kill or be killed, ultimately, you know? Like, if we want to continue to be a going concern anywhere, we got to make fucking risks like this and learn and get stronger and stuff. So yeah, I think what he read had something to do with fire, because then the other Wantahikos are gonna light fire to the house and burn everything. And yeah, plants, again, the way I understand it, sometimes fire brings forth seeds and stuff, or at least they can be reborn from the flames. So maybe that's the significance here. I like this kid here as well. He's like, we win, we gotcha. Normally we wouldn't be able to do this, but I read your scrolls, sucked in, L. I don't know, it feels like that's what the kid's saying. At some point here, Aki gets free too. I feel like she was trapped in the bedroom there for a little bit. And then obviously she's still like, I need to save the kids. If there's a house fire, I need to run in there and grab them. Ginkgo pleads with her, but again, she's got her heart set on this. I feel like upon seeing the kids and seeing them kind of melt down like that, she's finally convinced that they aren't her children. She's finally kind of gets on board with that idea a little bit more. I don't know. Again, it goes to show how strong the appearance of these kids is in, you know, getting the result that they want and being that parasite. Yeah, and I mean, we'll wrap up pretty quickly here. Ginkgo does a very smart thing here. He's like digging in the rubble of like the burnt down house, and he's like, okay, there it is. Let's grab it quickly, whatever remains, right? You know, and try to bottle it up. Because this thing was just trying to start again, I think. It was just going to go, okay, let's burn this place to the ground, we'll go somewhere else and start again. We've been caught, essentially. The jig is up. Let's try to get out of here. Ginkgo knows this. Ginkgo goes and finds them. Ginkgo jars them up. But what he does with the parents is the best part. And part of this is true, right? The kids tried to induce a disaster to the point where these seeds would be released early. That's kind of the gist, right? So hey, it makes sense that we're going to hand you whatever that last seed would have been. There you go. Here's a thing. Have this thing. At some point, it's going to become the Wata Take or whatever the hell it was called. Hey, hold on to this. It could be fucking 100 years. It could be 10 years. I don't know. It's yours to have. Go have fun, kids. And yeah, we tell a little white lie here. This thing isn't real. It's fake. It's not the real seed. It's not the real thing that happened because of the fire. But again, it's plausible deniability. It could happen after both of you pass away. So that's what's going to happen in their own heads, you know? We'll always carry it with us as, you know, just in case. It's like the hope of rebirth, and again, that can hopefully, I guess, sustain Aki. In actuality, Ginkgo is now talking with what remains of the Hitotake or whatever, the fucking Mushi. He's got it in a jar. We've given the parents instead a mineral. It's not real, and I'm gonna go deal with you in my own time. Me, I would find the nearest fire or volcano or anything and chuck this thing deep down inside and fucking hold it down and make sure it doesn't come back. That's what I would do. It terrifies me. And yeah, the hand at the end. Look at the hand. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. I don't like this guy. I guess crucially here, Ginkgo doesn't end up killing it. Like, that's, as much as I'm joking about wanting to put it in the fire and stuff, Ginkgo doesn't do that on purpose. And again, the thing almost calls him out for it. It's like, why haven't you killed me yet? It's like, yeah, reasons. And again, like, you know, Ginkgo wants life to continue no matter what. That's kind of his thing. He doesn't want to kill anything. He will only do so if he has to, you know? So again, potentially he sees a use for this thing somewhere else. Potentially it'll stay in the narrative. That could be interesting too. I don't know. Little fucking goo companion for Ginkgo. You never know. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I wonder where you guys fall on that, I guess. Like, should he keep this thing? He has. I mean, the show's... we can't really change it if he does, but... yeah, I'm definitely killing it. I'm not playing around with that. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Good episodes. I probably enjoyed... probably flipped. I probably enjoyed 21 more yesterday than I did today. And kind of enjoyed 20 more today than I did yesterday. So... but they're both very good. It was a good session. There'll be more next week. Patreon, of course. Like the video, subscribe. All the normal YouTube stuff. You'll see me later. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.